Hello and welcome to Chaos Predicts, the show where we go to the bets that you should and should not make. The intro's back, by the way. Some of you were asking where it was last time. I actually forgot about it. I haven't done predictions in that long. Anyways, let's get right into the picks. So we've got a ton of games to cover today with the Day 3 of ESL One Cologne Qualifier. Let's get right into it. So first off, we have EnVyUs versus Splyce. By the way, I'm doing it in descending order, kind of like the lower tier games first and then the higher tier games, the best ones towards the end. So first off, we've got Team EnVyUs versus Splyce. This should be a win for EnVyUs. I mean, I don't know why they lost to Gambit, quite honestly. They just played really bad, but you know, every team has those off days and you can't expect them to be the best team at all times. They did have a good win over Immortals. Splyce barely squeaked out a victory over Renegades, which is really disappointing for Renegades. I don't know what's wrong with Renegades in this tournament. They're just playing horribly. But nonetheless, I think this should be a relatively easy win for EnVyUs. They did get upset by Gambit, but they're much better than Splyce. I don't think Splyce really has much of a shot of winning this one. It should be EnVyUs winning it. Then we have Tyloo versus Cloud9, a really interesting game. Tyloo beat Immortals. Immortals has been playing really badly, and I think it's because this is their first tournament they've played in Europe. They've been playing really well in America. Like I said, they're probably a top 10 team in the world right now. I said that in my last video. They're probably top 4 in America right now, top 5. So they're really good, but they just haven't been playing at the level they used to be coming in. And I think, like I said, because this is their first time playing in Europe, it might be in their head mental. CSGO is, half a mental game anyways, so that might be kind of messing with their head. But anyways, Tyloo was able to get the win over Immortals, and Cloud9 did lose to mousesports, which I predicted. I didn't expect Cloud9 to be able to beat them, especially not with I don't know their roster right now. I didn't think they'd have the strength to beat Nico, who's one of the best players in the world. Anyways, this is a tough one to call. Honestly, I think that Cloud9, it should be the favorites. Cloud9, I think, will be the favorites going into this, but I could see Tyloo beating them. Tyloo played pretty well against G2, who's, arguably the best team in this tournament, in the qualifier, and they did end up beating Immortals, like I said, so they are playing pretty well so far. It'll be really interesting to see this match. It's going to be one of the best games of the day. We'll see how NACS fares against the best team in Asia. I think that Cloud9 will squeak out a victory, but is really up to you. This is, I would say a 55-45 for Cloud9, but I think this game will be really close. It'll be very interesting to watch. Then we have Flipside versus Optic. Optic had a bad first day. They lost to Gambit. They were up 11-4 at the half and just threw the game away, playing terribly in the second half, but they bounced back today with a win, and with that, I think that we can say that they are kind of getting better. I mean, they did play Fluffy Gangsters in a strong team, but they didn't have much trouble beating them. Now, Flipside did beat Renegades kind of in a close one today, but they lost pretty badly to FaZe Clan, which isn't surprising as FaZe is a much better team. But I think Optic will win this one. This is another game that'll be really interesting. It's a near 50-50, I think, but I think Optic does have the advantage. Optic has more talent, and I think that in this situation, I'm going to go with the more talented team in Optic. Then Hellraisers versus Dignitas, interesting one. So right now the odds on CSGO Lounge are 80-20 for Dignitas. That's ridiculous. This should be closer to a 60-40, I think. Dignitas is the better team for sure, but Hellraisers have been playing pretty decently in this tournament. They did lose today, but they played G2, which was expected. They were expected to lose, but they played pretty well on day one. It's a tough call to make. I think I'll go with the underdog on this one. I think I'll go with Hellraisers. If the odds stay under 30% for Hellraisers, go with a low bet on them. Don't risk too much. This is a high risk bet. I think Dignitas are still the favorites. Dignitas are still more likely to win, but this is a great underdog bet to make because you could get a very high return, and Hellraisers definitely have the potential to win this one. But if you're not looking for the risk, just go ahead and skip this game. Then we have Immortals versus Team Empire. I mean, God, if Immortals doesn't win this one, I don't know what to think of them. I mean, they should definitely beat Team Empire. Team Empire is probably the worst team in this tournament coming in. It's either them or Fluffy Gangsters. I think we'll see probably Immortals bounce back with a big win today, actually. I think that they will probably dominate Team Empire because they've been playing really poorly, and they'll probably want to take out their frustration on the lower tier team. This is definitely going to be a Immortals victory. If they lose, I have no faith in them anymore. I really don't know what's going on. But anyways, they should win it pretty soundly. Then Renegades versus Fluffy Gangsters. Renegades, another team that's been kind of disappointing. They're always kind of a mid-tier team, never top level, but never like at the bottom. And they've been playing kind of at the bottom. They've already lost 2 games. They're 0-2 so far. But I think against Fluffy Gangsters, again, similar to Immortals, they should have this victory pretty easily. I don't think Fluffy Gangsters are going to be able to win it. Then finally, we have our 2 very interesting matches. We have Gambit versus FaZe Clan. Now, the thing with Gambit, they should not be here right now. I don't know why they made it this far. They barely beat Optic. I think it was 16-14 with a huge comeback. It was an amazing game. And then they pulled the upset on EnVyUs today, which was completely unexpected. They're playing really well right now. I think it's a little bit of luck, but also a lot of skill. I mean, they've been playing really well. But FaZe Clan has as well. And I think in this case, I just can't see FaZe Clan's talent level losing to Gambit. I mean, Gambit has not the highest level of talent. They don't have the biggest talent pool on their team, and FaZe Clan does. FaZe Clan has quite a bit of talent on their team. Their roster is pretty good. But I just don't think that FaZe Clan will be able to lose this one. I think that they're strong enough to hold a victory, even though Gambit has been playing well. I just don't think that Gambit's streak of playing well will continue. FaZe Clan was playing pretty well coming into this tournament, and they've continued to play well throughout. I don't think that they will be upset today. I think FaZe Clan will win it, but it'll be interesting to see. Gambit has been playing decently, so we'll want to see how they progress through this tournament. It'll be interesting because they could come out as a top 15 team in the world coming out of this tournament, maybe even qualify for the major. They're in position to now, which would be a big boost for their team as they haven't been playing too well coming in. Then we have mousesports versus G2, another really interesting one. You have G2, who's the #1 ranked team coming into this tournament, or at least best team in this tournament, I should say. And then mousesports, who's another really, really good team, probably a top 3 or 4 team in this tournament. And they have Nico, who's, arguably right now the best player in the world. Nex has been playing pretty well. Chris J, as always, is pretty good with the op and the scout. This is an interesting one. Now, the odds are at about 75-25 on Lounge right now. I think that G2 will end up winning this, but it's going to be really interesting. I think that the 75-25 odds are a bit skewed. I think this should be closer to 60-40. I think that mousesports I think they have a lot of potential to pull the upset. If Nico has an amazing game, if he has one of those games where he just drops 25-30 frags, they could definitely win this, and it's really up to him. He's the star player of that team. He's the leader. He's the best player in the world right now, I would say. He's playing phenomenally, and if he continues his streak of 25-30 kill games, they could definitely pull the upset. So I think I'm going to go with the underdog bet. Very risky here. G2 is definitely the favorite. G2 is more likely to win, but mousesports, if Nico has that insane game that I think he could have, they could definitely pull off the victory. But then again, you have to remember, you have Shocks and Scream on the other side who have the potential to just blow up like Shocks did in E-League when he dropped a 40k, which is unbelievable. I mean, 40 kills in a regular time game. It didn't even go to overtime, so it was a really great game by him. I mean, both of these teams have explosive potential just because of the odds, just because I think it's a great bet, just because I think that mousesports has a good chance of pulling the upset and getting you some great returns. I would recommend a low bet on mousesports, but like I said before, if you're not looking for tons of risk, I would just go ahead and skip this game. But this will definitely be the game of the day. It'll be really interesting to watch. And anyways, guys, if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment down below, let me know what you think of my picks. And anyways, guys, I'll see you later. Hopefully I'll do the E-League predictions this weekend, and then the E-League predictions for next week, I mean. That'll come out this weekend, and I have a new series coming to my channel pretty soon. The first episode will be out next week, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. Anyways, guys, until next time, I will see you later.